evening, everyone, and welcome back. The topic that I chose for today is inspired by something that I've heard from Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it was something along the lines of how our view of our future determines how we feel and what we do in the present. And since I've heard it only once and didn't do any further research, I'm not sure how close I'm gonna be to his interpretation of this idea. So bear with me, and perhaps in some later videos, I can come a bit closer to that. And I've made several notes, so I'll be looking down to my iPad over here. So let's hope it's not gonna be too long, and let's let's get into it. So the first subtopic that I want to touch on is this psychological aspect of this idea of how our future, or rather our view of our future, determines our present behavior. And I like to think in analogies often. So this is the first one. Imagine your mind as a movie projector, where the film represents your thoughts about the future. Different lenses, theories, shape how you see it. For instance, the optimistic lens portrays a brighter future, while the pessimistic lens makes it look gloomy. This is another analogy that is connected more to how expectations shape present feelings and actions. Think of your birthday party. If you expect it to be fun, you'll feel excited and start planning. If you expect it to be dull, you might not put in as much effort and you might not enjoy it as much. And the third one, consider students studying for an exam. Those who believe they can do well, positive outlook, are more likely to study diligently and perform better compared to those who doubt themselves, negative outlook. So, as I've mentioned, a couple of keywords over here, this is connected to illustrating the influence of outlook on behavior. The second subtopic is the role of goal setting. How setting future goals impacts present motivation. That is the first subpart of this section. So setting goals is like drawing a treasure map. It gives you a clear path to follow and makes you more motivated to take action. Without the map, goal, you might feel lost and unmotivated. These are the different approaches to goal setting and their effects. Imagine you're building a tower with blocks. If you plan carefully and stack them strategically, specific goals, your tower will be tall and sturdy. But if you just pile them up randomly, vague goals, it might collapse. These are some of the personal anecdotes or examples of goal-oriented behavior. Think of a marathon runner. They set a goal to finish the race. Each day, they train and push themselves because they have that clear goal in mind. It keeps them focused and motivated. The fourth subtopic is this battle between pessimism and optimism. So, the first point, exploring the effects of optimistic versus pessimistic outlooks. Picture two gardeners. One believes their plants will bloom beautifully, optimist, and takes good care of them. The other thinks they'll wither, pessimist, and doesn't pay much attention. The optimistic gardener's plants thrive. The second point, this section, how each mindset affects decision making and emotions. Imagine facing a challenge. An optimist sees it as an opportunity to learn and grow, like a puzzle to solve. A pessimist might see it as an insurmountable obstacle, leading to frustration and negativity. And the last point of this subtopic, strategies for cultivating a more positive experience or perspective. Think of a gratitude journal as a mental gym. Each day, you lift weights, write down things you're grateful for to strengthen your positive muscles. Over time, you become better at seeing the bright side. The fifth section is actually regarding the feedback loop. So these are another three analogies for this specific phase of this video. Picture a snowball running down a hill. As it gathers snow, actions. It gets bigger and faster. Similarly, the actions you take today can accumulate and influence how you see your future. Next one. Think of a bicycle wheel. Your outlook and behavior are like the spokes, connected to the central hub, your mindset. When one spoke, outlook changes. It affects the others, creating a cycle of influence. This is the last analogy that deals with ways to break negative feedback loops and foster positive ones. Imagine you're in a loop-de-loop roller coaster. If it's negative, you keep going down. To change this, you can choose to hop onto a positive loop by consciously shifting your outlook and actions. And now we are on the subtopic number 6, which deals with external influences. Imagine you're on a boat in a river. The current societal influences can push you in a certain direction. Understanding this helps you steer your boat in a way that aligns with your goals and aspirations. The interplay between personal outlook and external stimuli. Think of a dance between you and the world. Your moves, outlook, affect the music, external influences. But the music can also influence your steps. Being aware of this dance helps you navigate through life's rhythms. These are strategies for mitigating negative influences. Picture a shield that protects you from rain. In this case, the rain represents negative influences. You can reinforce your shield with positive habits, boundaries, and a strong support system to minimize their impact. I have last two subtopics, so we're almost there. And this particular one deals with, you might say, real world examples. So consider entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, who envision a future with advanced technology and then work tirelessly in the present to bring it to life. Their outlook drives their actions and achievements, demonstrating the diverse ways the principle manifests in different contexts. Think about a chief and a scientist. Both have a vision of a perfect dish, or a groundbreaking discovery. They work diligently in the present, driven by their future vision, despite being in a vastly different fields. And last but not least, I think we are on number 8. And these last 3 analogies are about practical applications. Let's just put it that way. So the first one, picture a toolbox filled with different tools. Each tool represents a practical technique for shaping your future outlook. By using these tools, you can actively influence your present behavior and emotions. The second one, imagine you're an architect designing your dream house. Similarly, you can design your future outlook by intentionally choosing positive blueprints, thoughts, and beliefs. You create a foundation for a fulfilling life. The third one, think of a mirror that helps you see yourself clearly. Self-reflection and goal setting act as your mirrors, allowing you to understand where you are and plan for where you want to go. So, you might be thinking that I must be some sort of a crazy person to use this many analogies, but as I've mentioned earlier in this video, I like to think in analogies. Not always, but today I just feel that it is my style of communication and my way of presenting here today. So I hope that I didn't traumatize some of you with this. And as I said, I sincerely hope that I'll be able to make some future videos about this idea of how our view of our future determines how we feel and what we do in the present. But yeah, that's it for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.